The best way to fail at indie game development is to never try. But then some could say that if you never try, you'll never really fail. So let's assume you do try. Here's how to fail. Replayability. It's in style these days. What's the point in buying a game if you can't enjoy it for hundreds of hours? Because apparently the only games worth playing are the ones you want to play multiple times. Don't forget, there's a lot of sarcasm in this series. To make your game replay ready, add collectibles. Dinky little trinkets that serve no purpose other than to haunt the player for the rest of their life if they haven't found them all. The only reason you're adding them to your game is to artificially inflate your game's replay value. Don't add them in places that test the newly gained skills of the player, encouraging exploration and pushing people to the bounds of the game's mechanics. Instead, hide them in the stupidest places you can. So it's really just the exact same game, but now you're also playing hide and seek. Another way to add replayability is in the story. Tell a really long story only through cutscenes and walls of text. Then right at the end of the game, give the player a big choice, preferably between one obviously good decision and one obviously evil decision. The more obvious, the better. Then only allow them to save the game sometime during the very start. That way, if they want to see the alternate ending, which is actually just the exact same ending, except now the main character is drawn with like evil eyes or something, they will have to play the whole game over again. They'll love it. Another way is once they've completed the game the first time, they can unlock new content. But adding new content is kind of time consuming and rather difficult. So to make things easy on yourself, the new content will just be the exact same content, but now all the enemies have like 5% more health or are all just like fish or something. Wow. Exciting. Also, when considering replayability, be sure to force the player to replay all the boring parts of your game. They must go through the tutorial again. All cutscenes must be unskippable. They have to work their way back up to the fun part, whatever that is. It's your game. The whole thing is fun. They just don't understand it. Don't bother introducing mechanics and gameplay that encourages intelligence and creativity. You wouldn't want synergies that can only be explored in multiple playthroughs. Creating an abundance of unique items, powers, buildings, or blocks that combine in interesting and unpredictable ways that people will find worth exploring is really difficult. So don't bother. Everyone knows that game development shouldn't be difficult. What's that? To make something amazing, you have to put time and energy into it? Nah. I mean, maybe you could make roguelike systems, not actual roguelike games, just roguelike systems that introduce randomly generated events, powers, items, or interactions, making each playthrough have the potential to be completely unique, with challenges that will test the skills of the player and force them to create solutions rather than plug in the already known answer. That would be great, but you know, if you did that, you wouldn't be able to force the player to play the way you want them to, now would you? Sure, the #1 reason for replayability according to polls is interesting gameplay and game mechanics, but come on. We've already decided that there's no such thing as originality, or made some other BS excuse for why we can't try a little harder to be creative. Which is great, because if we've tricked ourselves into believing it's impossible to be creative, unique, and interesting while making game mechanics, then we should also believe that players wouldn't want creative, unique, and interesting mechanics in the games they play, because they understand that such a thing is impossible these days. Which, if that's true, why even try? Hey, thanks for watching. You may have noticed throughout the episode that there's 5 little pixels kind of drawing my logo. They're hidden throughout as collectibles for this episode. Go back through and see how many you can find and put it down in the comments. I'll let you know if you're right. Also, they're not difficult to find. They're not like incorporated into the art. They're always slightly separate, or like you'll know when you see them. Also, there's a super secret watermelon slice hidden somewhere in the episode. And perhaps only those who turn off their ad blocker and rewatch the episode about 8 or 9 times are going to be able to find it. It's just hidden that well.